What it do, surprise Shawty crew, and hey my Daizee loves. I want to record a few videos today. Let's see how it goes. But I will start off by saying the things that we're going to talk about, I pray that these things feel like low-hanging fruit in your life now. For me, it's been very interesting to go back and watch my videos over the last really 5 years, but something about 3 years ago, which is probably where I went back off track. But anyways, God was telling me a lot of things 3 years ago that I'm just now really like understanding and moving and standing on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, but you told me this 3 years ago, but it was certain things in the way to where I couldn't fully receive it and, you know, move accordingly. But these are particular things from 3 years ago. And just, he's given me dreams recently where it was like, you've already told me this. Like, why didn't I grasp that before? But I'm telling y'all that's why. So anyways, I just pray that this is low-hanging fruit for y'all now. And if you're not familiar with that term, or, you know, it just means, like, if you're at work and something is low-hanging fruit, it means like it's a task that you can go ahead and knock out easily. But in this sense, I just hope that y'all realize how insignificant, powerless, and how easy it is for you to overcome these things that we're going to talk about today. Okay? So this first video is going to have like a couple of things in it. One, people who truly possess do not feel the need to steal. People who truly possess something, someone, whatever, they do not feel the need to steal it. So always keep that in mind. We know the enemy comes to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. So people who are really walking with the Lord, people whose love lives and life are laced with the Lord, like, I ain't got to steal nothing. Right? But then there's people who are living not abundantly and they're living in lack and they don't truly possess. Those are the people who steal. That's the devil kids. That's the people the devil is laced in their life, right? Like, that's who's stealing. I have no desire or need to steal nothing. Nobody's joy, nobody's peace. I don't need to do that. I have my own, right? But it's people who don't live from that place that need to do that. Keep that in mind. The second thing I want y'all to keep in mind before I share this dream is also that anything anybody stole from you, it turns out it really wasn't the real thing. I know he told us that, but he's just reiterating that to me. And even if it was real, it was like low in value. Like, you couldn't do none of that anyways. When I tell y'all the dream, it's going to make sense. So just keep that in mind. Like, whatever they stole from you, whatever you feel like they stole from you, whatever God has showed you that they stole from you, it wasn't the real thing, or it was real insignificant in comparison to what he is going to truly bless you with. Okay? So in this dream, we were in this really, really, really nice shopping mall. And I have been dreaming of a very nice shopping mall since really one of my mentors became my boss. So that would have been probably like 3-4 years ago. But I don't know if this was the same shopping mall that she has me in. And even in those dreams with her, and I've shared that on the live, she just always has me in really bougie places. And I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I didn't even know this mall existed. Who shops in here, right? So in this particular dream, I wasn't with her, and I don't know if it was the same mall, but it was a very nice high-end mall. And I was like, okay, this is nice. However, in a dream, I realized that a group of family members, okay, they had cheated. All right, we were doing something to where me and my siblings were going to be the winners. We were the winners, but they collectively came together and decided to cheat. And it was so crazy because when I had this dream a few days before, I was talking about how they be doing fraud, like how scamming and fraud to them is just like normal. I was talking about that. So I don't know if that's like my spirit was already picking up on it, and this is why I dreamt it and it further carried out the illustration. I don't know, but in a dream, that's basically what happened. They cheated and made it look like they were the winners when I knew they were not the winners. And I called them out on cheating. And they were very surprised that I called them out on that. Like, that's not y'all's winnings. That's not y'all's earnings. And they were like trying to keep up with the lie. And like, no, we did win. No, you didn't win. Actually, me and my siblings won that. But in the dream, I wasn't that pressed because, I don't know, I just knew I had somewhere to be. And I felt like even in the dream, it was insignificant. Like, even before I knew how much they had took or what they cheated us out of, I felt like it was insignificant. And now I see why God has been telling me low-hanging fruit this morning when I was getting ready to record, because Even in a dream, I felt like that. Like, I was like, man, I'm finna go to this shopping mall. And, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I knew that that's where I was about to go next. So I asked them when I confronted them, I was like, how much money was it? And it was $100. Now, I don't know how money translates in the kingdom, or, you know, what that could have possibly represented in a dream. So if y'all have your ideas, y'all can comment down below, whatever. But I was like, $100. And even in the dream, I was like, yeah, you can keep that. Like, okay, look, I'm really low-key like that in real life. Like, I was like, $100. And not only that, but it was $100 that would have been split 3 ways. So me, my sister, and my brother would have got $33 each. The mall I was about to go to, that wouldn't have did nothing. That wouldn't have did nothing. $33. I don't even think the 100 would have did nothing at the mall that I was about to go to. I was like, keep it. Even though I knew they had cheated, even though I knew it was supposed to be me and my siblings' monies, I was like, keep it. And I walked off and I went to the mall where, again, that money wouldn't have did nothing for me in that mall. Nothing. And it was like they knew that. It was like they also knew that was like some chump change to me in the dream. Like, keep it. And so that's why it needs to be low-hanging fruit, because had I stayed there and had I tried to keep grilling them about why they cheated, give me the money back, fighting with them, like, no, I'm off to better things. And sometimes we have to know that in our life. Like, we need to realize that. And 5 years ago, when I had made certain decisions, that's why I'm like, I know I had got off track and I don't know how, but I do know how, and maybe we can talk about that in the video today too. But 5 years ago, I had made certain decisions, and I knew I was off to better things. I knew I only wanted to be around certain people, and I would start quoting Coi Leray, but literally better things had me in a chokehold. And you have to know that. And if I'm being honest, my life ain't stopped evolving since then. If anything, I've just allowed myself to get slowed down, allowed myself to be distracted, and allowed myself to be delayed because I was worried about some low-hanging fruit. But me and God had to work through some things. I had to soak in some things. I needed nourishment so that I really could perceive things as what they were, and I could really understand what was going on in certain situations. I knew I was off to better things. They knew that I was off to better things. Okay? And if you get so caught up in, oh, they stole this $100 from me, oh, they cheated at that level, do you know where you're going, though? So now you're going to miss a play, or you're going to miss an opportunity to make the type of money you need to spend where you're going. And if we go back to, like, this video needs to just preface everything I'm talking about today, but if we go back to the word that I had released, I don't know how long ago, but in the video, hold on real quick, let me go back. It wasn't Better Things, even though she does have a song called that. It was No More Parties that had me in a chokehold 5 years ago. But I was saying in a word either at the beginning of this year or at the end of last year how I need to cut back, babe. I'm always spinning, right? Because, yes. And so I can't exert that energy right there. I need to exert that energy somewhere else. And that was something I really was learning this year. Like, I can't be wasting, like, my spiritual currency. And I think I made a whole nother video about that too. So one of those videos I was saying that in the song with Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist, but the other video I was just talking about how loaded I was in the spirit, and like, y'all not gonna catch me out here wasting my money. I can't do that. I feel myself, and it was like, that was such a waste of my spiritual energy. That's what me and God was working on this year. And I was so very aware of that in a dream. Very aware of that. And so I walked away, and then I went to that high-end mall, and it was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. Now, mind you, this is a place they can't afford to be in. Why am I going to get caught up with you, and you can't even afford to go to the places that I can afford to go to? And I say that humbly, but it's like you stole that little measly, that's what it felt like, $100 in the dream. Keep that. I don't even care. I don't even care. And again, it's humbly, but it's also like, nah, because you will miss out on the life you're supposed to live. You will miss out on the experiences you're supposed to experience. You will miss out on the opportunities God is trying to give you because you've done the hard work. You've done the hard work. You've received that spiritual wealth from heaven, and you can go to different places and spend that. They haven't done the work. They haven't received that from him, and you will miss out. It goes back to people, because I feel like this has a lot to do with a lot that I've experienced, and a lot of the reason why I cut a lot of different people off. But like, you haven't done the work to get to where I am, and I have a lot to lose. You don't. That's why you do like that. Y'all, what does the devil have to lose? Because we talked about this. What's his destiny? What's his purpose? What's his lifestyle? He ain't got nothing to lose because he's going to hell for forever. That's why he's trying to pull everybody down that he can. And I'm picking up on so much duality this morning. It's crazy. Like, how am I going to get through all these videos? But I'm seeing stuff on so many different levels, like spiritually, different ways, physically. But like, baby, you don't have nothing to lose. Megan does. Megan does that, and so you have to move differently when you really realize that. You trying to figure out why you got different people always trying to pull you in drama and stuff, baby. And that's gonna bring me to the next video. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for the segue. You live a different life. So what's the lesson in this, right? Because that might be another word I do this morning. But what's the lesson in this? You need to know who on that type of time around you. That's who you know not to have around, not to give access to, because you are a thief. You be on that thievery. And I don't have time for no thievery, right? You need to be aware that that's how people's hearts are. That's how their lives are set up. That's how their minds are set up. You do need to be aware of that, because we're setting boundaries now. You won't want no thief in the castle. You wouldn't want that, because it might be $100 now, but if you keep having them around, they might steal 1,000 later. You get what I'm saying? So we really should thank God when it be the little minute stuff. And I know sometimes it don't feel minute, like it feels kind of extravagant until you really lock in with him and you like, oh, that's on a level down there. I'm not even down there anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? But you need to know that so you're not bringing that foolery to the higher levels with you. And I thank God for that, because stuff had me pressed and been out of shape and it felt like a big deal. Like, you know, like when you were in high school and stuff feel like a big deal, and then you become a grown up and it's like, that was nothing. Right. When you grow, when you mature, when you elevate, when you evolve and you realize how insignificant that was, how easy it was to defeat that, how easy it was to overtake that low-hanging fruit. We could have dealt with this 10 years ago and I could have understood what was going on. We could have dealt with this 15 years ago and I could have understood what was going on. Okay, so sometimes just thank God. I know I'm at a new level, but thank God, because he's showing you what it is so you don't take it to what it will be. Come on, Holy Spirit. Drops mic. See you in the next video.